You know what I'm gonna bring up.
Yeah, dude, of course. Yeah, everyone's talking about it right now. Of course,
Yeah,
it's
it was
insane.
crazy. It was
Yeah.
awesome in a
Hmm.
way. But
In a way,
actually,
it's funny.
I was
Yeah.
thinking it might be fun to start off the the lesson. I
Yeah.
played a Luigi online, and
Hmm.
I thought it would be fun to send you a slippy of that,
Sure. Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
and then we could talk about the Luigi matchup a bit.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down.
It'll be relevant.
Yeah. Have we talked about it before, you and I?
No, we talked about the Nest matchup,
Okay.
which randomly.
Yeah. I mean, I know that was like the most recent one, but we've never talked about it before, just in general.
The Luigi matchup?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
yeah.
think so.
That's one I actually pretty commonly talk with people about. I think it's like a really good
Yeah.
matchup for Marth players to learn. Yeah. Because there's just like a lot of like there's a lot of stuff that carries over into other matchups. And I think it's
Uh-huh.
one of Marth's like very few like hard winning matchups in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying
Yeah.
Marth doesn't like hard beat like Pichu or something. Like obviously he does, but Luigi like punches up a little bit, you know, like he actually does just like go higher
Yeah.
on the tier list. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
and I think Marth beats him really bad. So this is why like the Zane stuff is like actually so funny right now. Because you know, like I actually have a lot of critiques on how Zane is playing when he's playing Rap M. And I've watched not all of them, but I've watched most of the sets that he's
Yeah.
played
Well,
against
actually, I
him.
wanted to run something by you.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, because I was watching it, and I wanted you to tell me if you think I'm off base. And
sure,
obviously,
yeah.
I'm not in a position to be giving Zane advice, but
No, but you can be
I feel
critical on
like
your
the
own, yeah.
fundamental mistake. Yeah. I feel like the fundamental mistake he made in that match is like has such great movement
Hmm.
in general,
Right.
and he's used to being able to use that to outmaneuver his opponents.
Hmm.
But when you're playing Luigi, like you just can't do that at all. And Luigi will just rush in and out, totally rush you down in a way that you can't. I feel like basically he could have been a little bit more stationary.
Yeah, there's some truth to that for sure.
And what do you think?
So okay, I think let me talk about the characters a little
That
bit.
being said, I saw Kadoran play. Yeah,
I actually watched
I saw
Kadoran play
Kadoran
Rap M
play
today,
Rap M,
actually, yeah.
and
Okay,
yeah,
cool, yeah.
yeah, and his style is very different from Zayn's, and
Yeah,
it
it
didn't.
is.
Yeah, it didn't really work.
Yeah, it didn't.
So this
So
is me playing this Luigi, who's obviously not Rap Monster, and I'm obviously not Zayn.
yeah. Well, yeah, so I'll just let this play. I'm just gonna watch it in general for maybe like things that I think my thoughts on like Zayn versus Rap M or like even Kadoran, because I actually happened to watch that set today at work, ironically enough. Um, but yeah, we could talk a little bit about it, and I'll probably talk about some of the more relevant stuff for you. But just in general, like just to yap a little bit just while I watch. Yeah, I don't think Zayn plays the matchup really well against Luigi. Kadoran actually
Hmm.
does play it a little better, but he fumbled quite a bit. And if it's I forget what the tournament was called. It's like Sunset Melee or something, or like some Midwest tournament that Kadoran happened to be at with Rap M. Like it was pretty close. Anyway, uh, some of the things like you were saying, like it is true. Like Luigi is like kind of able to like run Marth down a little bit because he's really fast, right? Like the wave dash is actually very quick, right? Um, but I think what actually sets Rap M apart from like other Luigi mains, like, and I'm not saying that Rap M's bad on the ground or anything like that at all, but I actually think Rap M's platform game is like way better than any other Luigi player right now, and it's not close. Um, so what I mean by this is like he has like little ways like let me pull up this Kadoran set actually because I think this is just the most like relevant Marth Luigi set in my head right now. Uh, Sorry, I need to switch to my actual like private YouTube because it'll probably show up. Um, let's see, Kadoran Rap M.
If you
Uh,
see in that match later, like I feel like I am beating the Luigi in neutral
mm-hmm.
pretty consistently, but I'm really failing in the edge guards and the kill confirms, and I just cannot get him. I just can't kill him.
Okay, well that's actually the easy part, so we'll definitely talk about that. Like no questions asked on
Hmm.
that. Um, so I want you to just pay attention to like Rap M and how he's playing here, right? Like when I agree that like Marth's strength in this matchup isn't like the movement necessarily that Zayn is normally like really good at, right? It's the fact that like
Hmm.
he completely outranges Luigi and is able to like wall him out with like really safe aerials, right? But but I think it was on the
Hmm.
right side here, but like just little things like this, like these like little extensions that Rapim gets with like a hit on a platform, right? A back air, and he tech chases with the nair, which pops right up, which is good DI, and then he sends him right back down with the down air, and like he drops it a little bit, but like kills him after, right? With a solid edge guard, because Luigi actually has like kind of good edge guarding against Marth. Right, but like all I'm saying basically is like, uh,
Wait. Can you hold on one sec?
yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, no worries. I pause.
Technical difficulties on my part. You were just like kind of cutting in and out. It was hard for me to understand.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I paused the recording, so it's no worries. Um,
I got it.
I think
Yeah, yeah.
little things here. I should have just played and watched on myself, but um, like when I'm watching Rap M fight. Oh, this is exactly like this right here. This is exactly what it was when I was watching today. I was like, oh my god, like no Luigi's doing shit like this. Like so, like obviously he's playing really well on the ground, whatever. But like watch what happens, how he gets at a disadvantage here. So let me back up 1 minute before I show you actually. Luigi's biggest weaknesses and his biggest strengths, right? I actually have a lot of these written down because it's a matchup I talk about quite frequently. Okay, and I may have showed you this when we like first spoke about like how I like to break down matchups, or even we talked about Ness. We for sure talked about like Sheik and Marth, right? And like their strengths and weaknesses as characters, right? I showed you like
Yeah,
maybe
I think
this.
so. Yeah, yeah.
So Sheik and Luigi actually have very similar strengths and weaknesses in a way against Marth, right? So let's just talk about it real quick. So Luigi's like things that are bad about Luigi, right? He's really easy to edge guard. So like that's like that one of the biggest things you want. It's like if anytime you get a chance to edge guard Luigi, like he will likely die, right? Luigi can't contest you vertically in the air, which means like if you have Luigi directly above you, like you always get like an up air, an up tilt, or a forward air, right? He doesn't like really have anything that beats those moves. He can only try and like mix you up on timing. He has really bad drift, so like he can't move left and right to the air really easily. So it's really easy to stand underneath him, which is like really really important when it comes to juggling and like sharking him. And all of his hits in neutral are usually like wave dash, like down smash, wave dash, tilts, whatever, which means like he's gonna lose to crouch cancel, he's gonna lose to like run up shield, he's gonna lose to like walling aerials, like whatever, right? So in other words, what this means for you is like you can kind of just like keep a distance from Luigi. You don't really have to scrap with him. You get one hit, you put him up in the air. He's so bad at getting at it. His disadvantage is so unbelievably bad against Marth. You convert that into an edge guard and then you kill him, right? Which is like kind of the flow chart you do for like every character in the game, which is like hit, edge guard for or DI mix up into kill them. Luigi though, it's like it is brutal bad, right? So without getting into like, because I haven't like fully written this for Luigi. I just use these as examples for the most part. Without like talking about why Luigi's good for Marth, we're just talking about why he's kind of good. We're just talking about why he's really bad, right? His biggest weakness, if you have to take it into other
Hmm.
words, is his edge guard is so bad, but like really his juggling him is like super, like he's one of the easiest characters to juggle in the game. And that almost always leads into an edge guard because you kind of forced him to go off stage with the juggling, because if he keeps trying to land on the stage, he's just going to get hit up in the air until he's at like 150 and then dies from an up tilt or something. But when you watch Rap M play, like Kadorn's getting hits against him in the air, right? Like obviously like here he's getting hit, but like here's a great chance for him to get hit. Here's a great chance for him to get hit, right? And like now this should be an easy forward air or up air or forward smash off stage or something. But watch Rap M, like he actually just double jumps right back on, wave lands on the platform, he takes center stage, he gets a counter hit, and then he converts that into an edge guard, which like, he's probably going to convert this into a kill. Yeah, and he does, right? And like this should be Luigi's like worst thing, but Rap M like turns it around on people. And he does this like quite a bit. Like little things like this. Like look how much percent he got off like a single like 3-hit piece combo, right? On a platform. And he did it out of disadvantage, like on a tournament winner, right? Which like any other character, like you're probably gonna die for that. But Rap M just finds these like little weird things in the air that people aren't really expecting, and then like he gets like weird conversions, right? And then that actually ends up going into a good conversion, which like then he just dropped the tech chase here, but that could have been even more, right? And he got that all off like a nair at the ledge, right? Like now he's getting like a bunch. He probably should have done fair. He dropped another combo, but like, do you know what I mean? Like he's evened it up so quick, and Kadorn's like struggling to get the good hits, right? So my take in general, right, is that what is setting Rap M apart from
Hmm.
other Luigi players is he doesn't solely rely on the things that make Luigi like historically really good, which is like his wave dash and his speed, and he's got like a decent combo game on Marth. Rap M's biggest strength as a player, for the most part, against Marth in particular, is like he actually is like genuinely good at playing like melee. Like he's using the platforms. He's got good tech chases. He's got good crouch cancel reversals. He doesn't like waste his resources, but he doesn't have to. So he's just like very solid player that's playing Luigi. And he's like making up for some of the weaknesses and spots. Not to say that other people can't cover that still, because it's at the end of the day it's still Luigi, but he's making everything as hard for them as hard as possible, right? And on the flip side, like Kadoran had a kill there and he's just not hitting it, right? Not because Rapham's doing something like crazy, like amazing, like there's his unbeatable counterplay. It's just like he's just being kind of lazy with his punish, right? And I feel the same way about Zane actually. If I watch Zane play Rapham, I'm not even gonna pull it up. You can watch the VOD later if you really care. Well, I'm not gonna waste your time. But the like Zane's doing like a lot of like forward throw into Nair, and like that's like a 20% combo that doesn't have any follow up because you just DI out of it and then it's done, right? Like instead of like going for like an up throw into like a juggle that could potentially kill him, right? And don't get me wrong, it's probably harder to juggle Rap M, but it's still Luigi, right? And something I talked to you about, like Ness, like some things with characters, like it doesn't matter if they're an O2 or if they're like Zane or Jmook or Cody, like it doesn't, the character traits don't change, right? And the fact is like Luigi is just so unbelievably bad in the air, you can't like ignore that. And I think Zane in particular, when I'm watching a lot of his Rap M sets, he doesn't juggle Rap M at all. He doesn't have an edge guard flow chart against him, and generally like he is trying to like scrap with him and play the player too much. But like I think Zane can like add some matchup stuff and still play the player, and like then Zane is like one of the best people in the world at playing the player. But it's like kind of like what I was talking about with low tiers. Like if you don't
What do you mean
abuse,
play the player?
um, so there's actually a video by Zane which I think is pretty good. Like to be fair, he stole the concept from another smasher named Rishi, but I'll send you it, just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But there's they talk about this idea where it's basically like yeah, here it is. um he tries to quote it as like there's three types of players, right? There's sorry, there's a timestamp in here. There's someone like None who like makes a lot of reads on someone, like weird reads, but like they work and like he converts them into really big hits. He's playing the player, he's not necessarily like playing the matchup. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
I think I saw that video. As
Yeah,
in, he talked about, yeah,
like
he talked about like body players, mind players, and heart players.
yeah, like and those that's just
Well,
like
maybe that's a different video.
no, it's the same idea. Like it's I think that's Rishi is what you're
Yeah, yeah.
thinking of. Rishi's like the original. Like Zane
Mm,
high key is just copy pasting like the same idea, right? But he's making it his own. It's his own video, but don't get me wrong. Like it's the idea is Rishi's. But anyway, like
yeah.
so like the examples, I think Zane gives some pretty relevant like top player examples right now. So like None is someone who like he'll like just jump and throw a knee at the most random spots. Like someone will be shielding and None will throw a knee up above their head and like they'll jump into the knee and then the knee connects and then or like he'll just read he'll like jab you and jump backwards and throw a knee and then he reads a roll in. You know what I mean? Where like someone like Junebug is playing like the matchup quite a bit. Like he has very like methodical, thought out stuff he wants to do to punish Pikachu or like Axe in that example that he gave, like specifically, right? And someone like Jmook is like so technical, and is able to just play like so optimally in some spots. Like it's like almost unreliable, right? Like the amount of tech chases or like random difficult tech or movement that Jmook hits, but he just does it anyway when he's like really feeling it. But he doesn't, like he looks terrible, right? That's kind of what a lot of people like
Yeah.
flame him for. So the idea is like Zane says at the end, which I think a lot of people like they hear this idea and kind of forget about, like the main takeaway is like if you want to be good at melee, sure you may lean towards like one of these three playstyles, right? But like you want to ideally be like versed in all of them. Do you know what I mean? Like good players are able to do
Yeah.
some of the things that all these types, quote unquote, of players are able to do, you know? So like, you know, some people may have seen Zane as like a dash dance bot in like 2017, right? Like all this guy did was dash dance grab He was just really good at it and hit really hard. So he is like a J-Mook type, right? Like he just executes whatever. But then like all of a sudden now he's putting in all that work like Junebug with his matchup stuff against like Axe, right? Now he has like specific like Pikachu notes, or he has like notes for like H-Box and stuff, right? Like he's studied and labbed all these matchups, and on top of it, Zane is able to just like totally like dunk on and like make crazy reads and plays against people like he does with none, right? Like you should see some of the combos he does on like Falco against like Magi or something, right? Like there's like some Zane Magi clips that are just like out of this fucking world, or like what he does to like Moki a lot, you know, or even Cody, you know. But like, point being, like Zane is good at all three, right? So what I'm trying to say about this Luigi thing, going back to like the main thing here, is like Zane, I think, is playing a little bit too much like None when he's playing Luigi. Probably needs a little bit more Junebug. Do you know what I mean? Like he needs to play the matchup a little more. He's trying to play Rap M too much.
Yeah.
Versus like Luigi. And I think like don't get me wrong, he's not even doing bad when he's playing Rap M, but it's like it's Luigi, brother. Like come on. Like you just gotta abuse some of the things like what I was telling you about Ness, right? Like Ness is only a bad character if you abuse what's bad against him. Otherwise, like he's kind of annoying and hard to deal with in a lot of spots, you know? And same thing with like Yoshi or Samus or whatever, right? And Zane's gotten like crazy better in all those matchups. Like Pikachu is the same thing. And it could, maybe it's hard. Like I don't know. Like I personally think like Marth Luigi is like a very, very good matchup for Marth. It's not as hard as something like Marth Pikachu, but Zane is like beating all the Pikachus out. Like he just doesn't really lose to them anymore, you know? I think eventually he will be like that against Luigi, and I don't think it's going to take him as long as it did with like Pikachu. And he's also like a much better player than what he did that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on like the Zane Rap M stuff. Is like Rap M is playing introducing a little bit more J-Mook into Luigi, if that makes sense. Like a little bit more optimal, a little bit more like harder to beat, whatever. But I think if Zane brings a little bit more Junebug style into his play, like it's gonna be pretty tough for Rap M. Is my prediction. Like, you know, maybe it goes some other way, but I kind of see it going that way. Is to, if I'm being completely honest with you. But yeah. So anyway,
I mean, this is kind of what happened with like Aklo's Link. Aklo's Link beat Zane a few times.
Yeah, absolutely, it is. You know,
and then he grinded Link, and now pretty much I don't think he'll ever lose to Link again.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know. Like to be fair, I don't think Aklo is like looking into like new ways to be like. You'd be shocked how little top players like actually put some effort into some things. Like I'll be honest with you, a lot of low level or mid level players put a lot more effort sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, you know. I think Aklo could put in a lot more work with his Link, but it's like how hard does he have to work with his Fox for other matchups sometimes, you know? Like so he's kind of in a weird spot, I feel. Right now at least. Who knows what'll happen, but yeah. I mean, also, like, he's got stuff going on outside of Melee. Nouns isn't a thing anymore. It's just going to be harder for him to get to events. So, yeah, like, maybe you're right. I don't know. But, like, I don't want to, like, doubt him either, you know? Like, he's obviously a really good player. But, yeah, let's talk about, like, your Marth versus Luigi, right? Like, so my take, generally, right, is that other than Rap M, almost every Luigi is kind of exclusively wanting to play on the ground, right? Rap M's kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, and the other Luigis are catching up. Like, and they are. Like, I'm noticing it, but it's still just not like it's not the leaps and bounds that Rap M is making, right? So otherwise, this should be a very simple matchup for Marth. And like I said, like it's because Luigi has just really bad weaknesses, right? I have tons of VODs on Marth versus Luigi already that you could watch. So I would recommend that, to be honest, just not to like waste your time, I guess. But like, I want to hear what you think about this game, because like I could definitely critique it like crazy if I'm being honest, but I just don't want to do the same thing over and over unless you like want something specific. Do you know what I mean?
Well, all right. I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm making a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I just want to like you'll look later in the match where I just like really fail at edge guarding him and killing him.
Okay, yeah, sorry, you did mention it.
All right, this is what. All right, let's say like if you focus on like I don't know, 2 or 3 things, big things that maybe I could improve.
Yep.
in this match. Or if it's the other thing is I feel like I still am making some really big mistakes, and I want to like narrow down on the biggest mistakes I'm making, you know,
Okay.
kind of diagnose them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. That's like exactly like pretty much what I just
Because I
asked
mean,
you,
of
right?
course, if you focus in on a lot of little things, I could like do a lot of tons of little things wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I meant more so was like, like I could spend the next hour talking about Marth versus Luigi in particular, but I'm sure you also want sprinkled in there, like your Marth versus this guy's Luigi. Do you know what I mean? Um, but I think you kind of just gave me like the full list of like what to talk about here, which is like your big things, some like matchup tips, and then just general
mm.
mistakes that you're making, right? So let's talk about that. So I know I said I'm not going to do this, but
Yeah,
I have to kind of briefly talk about it a little bit just for a ground layer, if that makes sense. Um, but okay, we kind of talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this. So like Marth versus Luigi, again, Luigi's biggest weakness is juggling, right? Why is the biggest weakness is his juggling? Is because he doesn't have a downwards hitting move that beats anything Marth has if it's spaced properly. But also, his drift is so bad in the air. Like, pay attention to this double jump he does here, right? Watch how like slow it is for him to move left and right. Did you see that? Like it doesn't really feel like a Marth or like a Jigglypuff
yeah,
jump, Like it's really, really slow. That's him drifting fully to the left and right. That's not like a micro drift, right? Compared to you where like you just kind of go like you go super far, right? You go a distance from like here to here. Luigi probably goes for distance from like here to here in that same time. Over time, because he's in the air for a really long time, he might actually make it here. But like the amount of time it takes for you to get like you like quadruple his horizontal distance. Does that make sense? So in other words, like it is really, really
yeah.
hard for him, if you're right underneath of him, for him to get away to the left and right. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So if he can't get away from the left and right, and
Yeah, yeah,
he can't hit you downwards, that just means he keeps getting hit up or to off stage, right? Which is like really, really bad for him. So like this is the worst spot he can possibly be in the entire game. This is it. Because like what does he do here? He can't like you can see how fast he's drifting, right? Like when after you hit the down smash, like he's holding full right here. He doesn't go anywhere, right? The problem is you don't know how to juggle him, and I think you don't know how to abuse his advantage state. So we'll talk about that as a matchup thing first, and then we'll get into it, right? So I'm just gonna take a screenshot. We'll come back to this
hmm,
in the VOD. I know where we're at based on the timer, but I kind of want to talk about hitboxes a little bit, okay? Because it's important for this matchup. So I have it in Paint here. I'm just gonna paste it. Okay, sorry. So if we talk about like Luigi getting down here, right? We've already established he can't get away left and right. He can't, right? So like how does he get down? Like what moves does he actually have? Like he has his down air, right? Which, has a actually pretty good amount of disjoint. And I think what's like tricky about the down air is like he goes from like here where like his knees are kind of tucked up a little bit, and then he sticks them out all the way and actually like pretty like quickly, right? From here to here in 2 frames. Like you're trying to hit his knees tucked up to like a disjointed down air, right? So he actually does like stick them down quite a bit. It's kind of similar to like Sheik a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Where like Sheik,
yeah,
when she does her down air, she kind of like sticks it down a little bit like this, right? She goes from like a little ball like this to just like way down, right? But Sheik's is like worse than Luigi's because she actually like she's not protected by the hitbox here. So it's actually easier to hit Sheik down air than it is Luigi, but even still, right? It's not much disjoint when we compare it to like something like Marth up air, right? I mean, obviously, there's not many moves that kind of beat Marth up air like cleanly, but the difference, right? And this is the important part here, is that Marth up air kind of only really super cleanly beats that move for like 3 frames here, right? Like the
yeah,
fourth one, like a little bit. This one for sure. This one probably if it's, extended here. But really it's like 2. Because even here on this frame, like there's not really much space between his arm and here compared to like Luigi down air, you know, where like there actually is more of a disjoint on for like this frame, right? And that's the thing about melee is like it when you throw in an up air, it's not always going to be this frame perfect, the most disjoint possible kind of up air, right? You do like a motion like this, you swing, right? And that's a kind of a problem with Marth is like he only swings for like let's up air is only out for three frames, like four technically because five, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it, right? Compare that to something like Fox back air, you know, if I do like an invincible Fox back air, like
Yeah.
that shit is out for like I don't know, where is it? Like what? 15 frames, right? Like a stupid amount of time. And it's kind of the same hitbox the whole time it's out, like pretty close to it, right? So what I'm trying to say here is when you're in a spot like this, a lot of people where they go wrong on juggling, and this is kind of, I don't know how the best way to word this. You kind of have to like feel it to get an idea, I think, of it. I think, I'm just closing the replay for now. A lot of people where they go wrong on juggling is they do stuff like this. They do stuff like a rising up air like this, right? Even just like this one isn't really that great.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is, I'm just going to do one real quick. I'm just going to record. The reason is like when you do this, like if I actually turn on the hitboxes here, no, not what I'm looking for. Here we go. Pay attention to like how this looks like with the stars, right? I'm gonna tab out, like you can see here, like the hitbox, like it's definitely out at like the peak of where it can be, but I'm like, do you see what I mean? Like I'm still kind of rising, like for like a split second here. Like up air is kind of a weird one to get, but like let me see if I can play it back.
Sorry, can you say that again? Your voice cut out a little bit.
So what I'm saying here is like I do the up air, like I don't do the up air instantly, right? Like frame perfectly, so I'll restart it. But the idea is like if you do an up air while you're jumping and rising, like that, something like that, like this one actually is better. If I do an up air, this second one here that I'm doing, right? Watch what happens. No, shoot, I did it too quick. No, go back. Loop, playback. Okay, cool. So this second up air, watch what happens here. See what happens if I do a rising up air where like, even though the hitbox is out at its peak, Marth's kind of like still moving upwards. Do you know what I mean? So it's not actually like, he's not actually protecting himself. He's just like throwing the hitbox out instantly, right? When compared to like those first couple up airs I showed you, like the second the up air is done, I fall with it, right? So in other words, what I'm trying to say here, the main thing I'm getting at is like when people are in this spot here and they do like these rising up airs to hit him and Luigi sticks his little foot out as far as it can possibly go, you're just so much more likely to not actually get, and like I said, where like the swing that you get on the up air, it's only a couple frames. It's a super tight timing for you to get this perfect hitbox, right? And again, like he can warp his hurtbox with the down air, right? He has to time it and it's still hard, but like it is not really like as easy as it looks to just like only up air Luigi, right? Because he sticks his foot out and it's awkward. So what you have to do here is actually do like a falling down air or like down air, falling up air, not down air. So you do like a falling up air. So in other words, like you kind of start the up air after you start falling with short hop or up air after you start falling with full hop or short hop, or like just at the apex of your jump. Does that make sense? So that you're not rising with the up air. In other words, you're making it kind of like less disjointed. Right? When you're falling with the up air, there's more of a distance between where the hitbox started at the beginning of your swing and where it ended, because you're falling down with it on top of it, like the arm itself is extending upwards. Does that make sense? I know it's kind of a weird thing to explain, so if
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, just
Hmm.
let me know. Um, and
No,
on
it makes sense.
Okay. So that's just like for like clean beating it, right? But even on top of this, sometimes like other than down air, what else does Luigi have? He has his nair that hits below him, right? And that comes out in frame 3. Like it's a really really quick move. So this is probably more relevant for, let's say you hit him with like an up tilt or like an up air like early percent. You kind of can't combo him the same way because he just has like a, this is almost like shine. Like he'll kind of just shine out of things, except it combos and kills you, right? But not nearly as much disjoint as like the down air, right? So when you're in a juggling position like this, some Luigis will probably just spam nair. If you do like up throw at 0, let's say, they'll probably just spam nair because it's like their fastest thing to get out of a combo. But if you're ready for it, like up tilt beats it, up air beats it, forward air beats it. Like every kind of move beats the nair disjoint because it's just not really much, you know. Um, so like in other words, like his really only moves he has to try and get down is to like try and trick you by like sticking the hitbox out more than it feels like it should be, or he does like a very very slight delay with the down B. Because when you do the down B, like when it's starting up here, like before you start spinning, it actually like freezes you in the air just for like a split second, like just a very very subtle second. But like if you look for it, I
Yeah.
think it's easy to see, right? Like me just like falling with the
No,
down
I've
air,
I've definitely gotten hit with his down B so many times.
right? And it's like he can mash it too, right? So he can change the timing a little bit. Not that he wants
Yeah.
to do it crazy, but like, you know, maybe just like 2 presses and then he falls with it, right? That happens like all the time. So like again, because he can also not only mix up where his hurt box is, but also mix up his timing falling. You got to be really careful that you're optimizing your up airs, right? And doing them like falling. Or again, because he really struggles to get away horizontally, if you're not confident in the up air, or like let's say you're like you know you mistimed the jump, or like you know the fall, there's not enough time for you to fall or whatever, like, and you think he's gonna throw out the down air, throw out a forward air, right? The forward air will cleanly, like the down air only hits below him, right? It doesn't cover like his side like at all. Like he's still totally exposed here, right? So you can just forward air him off stage. And again, like when he's off stage, that's the worst position he can be, you know? Um, so that I think is like the thing, like honestly, what Zayn is struggling with in particular, Zayn and Kadorn a little bit, but that's where they're struggling the most. Like they're just not doing that. They're doing like forward throws instead of like up throws, and they're not juggling him after, which is like that's where you get all your money against Luigi, right? Is juggling him and getting him into an edge guard. So we're at
Yeah, I definitely
615.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's true, right? Because it's like it's the way the character works, right? Like how he actually gets out of disadvantage, right? So like here, this is where we were in the VOD, right? When you jump at him, you do like a rising back air, right? Which like I know like maybe you're just trying to swag on him, like whatever, but like what I'm trying to get at here is like,
That was a missed input
okay, well
for sure.
that's even worse then, right? Because it's like this is makes it just so much easier. Like if he did a nair, you get hit here. If he did
Yeah.
a down air earlier, you get hit, and like you like he tried to hit you with down B, he just didn't. But like if you got an up air or a forward air here, I'm not kidding. Like just a forward air here could be a kill. Like because the edge guarding is very straightforward. I'll get to it when you have him off stage, but that is like the biggest thing, right? So like when you're playing neutral, because Luigi is like a wave dash based character, so we just talked about his disadvantage. We're gonna talk about his disadvantage, his neutral and his edge guarding, and then I'll answer your other like habit questions at the end. Okay, if that sounds good to you. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I just want to make sure. So this is
Yeah. Yeah.
another
Yeah.
this distance is another very relevant thing against Luigi. So we're basically just breaking down his weaknesses right now, right? So I'll send you this screenshot. Just give me one sec, just so you can think about juggling a little bit if it works. Yeah. Okay. Cool. It doesn't. Awesome. Okay. Give me one sec. Sorry. I'm just screenshotting it again. Okay. So we got his. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm just sending you screenshots just for the example's sake, and you can like feel free to draw them, write your own notes, whatever. But let's talk about where is it? Here, the wave dash distance. So I'm going to put this one in paint now, right? So like I said, and like you said also, Luigi's a very ground-based character, right? Like, it's because he has so much weaknesses in the air in terms of like him getting juggled and him struggling to move really fast in the air. Like, it's not like Luigi can just like jump at you and throw it in the air like he can like Fox, right? Like, from this distance, he's just going to be stuck floating in the air. Do you know what I mean? So when you force distance on Luigi and you're not like in his face trying to grab him all the time so that he can't, like, if you're in his face trying to grab him or like scrap with him, he doesn't really, like, his weaknesses aren't a thing anymore, because like his weakness is his air drift, right? That's his biggest like reason why he sucks, is air drift and his range. So like, it's very possible you just get like hit by a forward air, or like if you shield, he does like double aerial short hops on you, or like whatever, right? But if you're here, like, he actually can't reach you with anything other than a wave dash. Do you know what I mean? Like, he can't run at you. He's too slow to like outpace you like Captain Falcon or something. He can't he can't jump at you like Fox. He can't like throw projectiles like Sheik, because I mean, it's just a fireball. It doesn't really do much. And you know, like, he can't like go wherever he wants like Peach or Puff, right? So it's like, when you're at a distance like this, you're forcing an approach out of him, basically, right? Like, he can't camp you because he can't like run anywhere from where he is, you know? So it only allows you to like inch your way closer a little bit if you want, or put pressure on him. But you kind of don't even have to do that. So, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I want to talk about why this position is so good, why making him approach you is really good, and why you should do it a lot. So I'm going to go back to Uncle Punch for a minute. The time's in here, so we can come back to the VOD. So why Luigi's approaches are not actually good. Oh, I went right back into, sorry. Why they're not actually good is because they're reliant on a wave dash, right? So like, if you're in a spot like this against Luigi, let's say you're like right on top of him and you dash away and he chases you with a wave dash, you're totally right. And you said at the beginning of the lesson, he's going to chase you down, and he is faster than your run speed in a wave dash, right? He's very fast. But the problem is when he has to do something like a wave dash. Oh, sorry. Right? When he has to do something like a wave dash, he has to go through all the wave dash lag on top of it, right? So, for example, here, let's look at the actual frame data of a wave dash, right? So for him to like hit you, by the time, and to be fair, your dash comes out on frame 1, your shield comes out on frame 2. Let's just an example, right? He has to go through. I'm just waiting for me to actually start. Okay, so that's 2 or 3 frames. So let's just say 2. We'll be generous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not even frame perfect, but whatever. Let's say 5. It would be more generous. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And sure, he's actionable here. Let's get the down smash started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames before down smash comes out. So like 20 something frames, right? The actual frame data on a wave dash for Luigi, I think it's like 11 frames, because he has one more frame of jump squat than Marth. Marth, I know, is 10 frames. So it's like 11 frames of wave dash plus the 5 frame startup of a down smash. So it's like frame 16 before he can hit you with anything at the very earliest, right? And this, like, I just use down smash because it's relevant for like what they like to do. But even jab, it's like 13 frames versus 15. And like, we're talking about like a jab that you can crouch cancel, you can swat, whatever, versus like his down air, which you can kind of, or his down smash, you kind of still all do the same stuff, but like at least it combos or like kills or whatever, right? But the point I'm trying to make, the main thing I'm getting at here, is like, he has to go through an absurd amount of lag before he's able to hit you, right? And like, obviously this isn't frame perfect. This is like, there's a little bit too far of a distance, but that's the point, is like, when there's distance between the two of you, like, if I play this back, I'm going to turn off all this, and I'll just like play in it, really. Like, I can do literally anything I want and be late on it, right? It doesn't matter that, you know, I'm like really late. Like, you know, if I jump at the same time I'm wave dashing here, like, I'm perfectly safe. There's nothing he can do to hit me with here, right? I'm able to hit him with literally anything I want because he's stuck in leg, you know? And so it's like, how is he even going to hit me if I just keep doing stuff like this, right? I keep jumping and backing off, right? Because you're right. Like if I dash away, right, something like this, he actually will hit me, right? Like sure, I can put my shield up, but like maybe he grabs me. Maybe like it lets him play rock paper
Yeah.
scissors when I don't even have to, right? This is a trade that's in my favor, you know. And like if I get a hit against Luigi and I get a grab, you know, then I get an up throw and then he's all the way back where he doesn't want to be again, right? Um, this is the same problem that ice climbers run into a lot. Actually, it's why ice climbers actually aren't as strong on the ground as people make them out to be. Because yeah, like if you get crouch cancel grab by ice climbers for counter hitting them, like it can be pretty brutal. But that's neither here nor there. Like Luigi does not have that kind of punish game, right? He just doesn't. And he doesn't have like the desyncs and the projectiles and all that. He's thrown himself at you with a ton of lag, right? And you can wall it out. Like
I think I heard Zane say in his stream the day, a few days after Genesis, that so many Luigis they wave dash in and down smash or something.
yeah,
But Rap M caught him off guard because he would be wave dashing in and grabbing,
grabbing, yeah.
and so
And so
and
this
so Zane would be like, I guess, trying to crouch cancel, but then he'd just get grabbed for it.
well, this is what I'm saying, right? Zane is trying to play the player and he's trying to like make the read and like beat the specific option that Rapm is throwing out here. And what I'm saying is like he doesn't have to. If I replace this, let's do it just for example's sake. I'm gonna make this slot 2 now, right? Oh, sorry. Let me refresh this. So this is CPU record slot 2. And I want to play as the CPU. That was my mistake. Right? Now I'm grabbing. Why is this not recording? Why is this not playing back? I see why. I messed it up, right? But the point I'm trying to make, right? I messed up the thing here. But what I'm trying to say is like, okay, now he's grabbing. It doesn't change, right? And this is what I think Zane doesn't do really well. He's not playing the matchup, right? Like there I messed up just timing wise. That's just like a tech skill error. But like everything that I'm doing, all these options are exactly the same as like punishing the down smash, right? But like if Zane's trying to like, play with with the wave dash itself, yeah, like Rapim now has mix-ups, right? But you don't have to play that way. Like, and neither does Zane. Like Luigi as a character, like that wave dash interaction is just not in his favor against Marth. Like it just isn't, right? So yeah, like it's the same thing I was telling you like with Ness. Like if you don't play the interaction right, he's gonna look like a real character. But if you kind of do the things that make it really hard for him, it doesn't matter if it's Rap M or if it's like the greasy like Luigi player at your local, right? Like it doesn't change. And so this is what I mean. Like if you always have a distance like this on Luigi, he can't get in. But also like that's good for you because it means like as Marth, you don't want to be throwing yourself at people anyway. Like what I was talking about with the up air thing. Think about that horizontally, like on the ground. Like you don't throw yourself at people with like approaching nairs or forward airs all the time, right? Ideally, you want to like do aerials in place or retreating aerials if you're going to throw them out and then mix up like a run up grab or like an unreactable approach with dash attack or something, right? Like Marth walls people out and stops them from being able to connect to him with his sword incredibly well, right? And like the top Marths right now just aren't doing that against Luigi because they really have to like they typically don't really play the matchup all the time against players. They kind of just beat them because they're better players. But Rap M is kind of forcing them to be like, "No, you got to play me, dude. Like you gotta play the matchup." But do you get what I'm talking about with this neutral thing, where it's like when I'm watching you play this matchup, and I'm literally just gonna pull it up, like the recording, and just let it play. A big thing that I was seeing was you were doing a lot of like approaching nairs. You're jumping at him. You're trying to swing. Like, watch what you're going to do here. This is like fine. Obviously, you went to the ledge a little bit, but like stuff like this. That was good. This is all good so far, actually. But like stuff like this approaching nair, or like, you know, this is good. This is good. This is all walling him. He can't get in, right? Everything you've done so far, he can't really get in. We're just waiting for neutral. But like this forward air, not so great. Like this doesn't like, this makes it easier for him to like go through the leg with this forward air, right? It's an edge guard here. He's dead here. Oh, never mind. Stuff like this, right? Like if we take the same situation with like the Rap M thing, like this guy's down smashing, but Rap M, he's playing it so differently. He's shielding here, right? And now all of a sudden, like it's like really, like it's really hard for him to beat. And it's like, well, no, you're just making like, you're not playing for Luigi's weaknesses here. You know, you're getting up in his face and scrapping with him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
so far, you haven't actually taken many hits this first stock. It's only like a little later you started taking a little hits, but I think it's just because you're like approaching him a lot. Let's see what you do at a disadvantage here. Okay, you died. Right? Approaching nair. To be fair, invincible, but still.
Yeah.
Okay, approaching nair. Down tilt. Right? Get a grab. Mess up the up throw, right? That's the disadvantage thing.
Mhm.
Neutral. Here we go. Approaching nair. And like, see what he does right away? Another approaching nair. And like he wave dashes it, but now like all of a sudden this wave dash leg, because you're in leg and you're like right up in his face, like in leg from approaching him, all those wave dash frames, like he's still wave dashing here, but like they just don't matter anymore. Now he's able to try and like get a hit on you, right? He overshot it because he's not really like the best Luigi, but like let's see it right again, right? You get the reverse back air, okay, whatever, like you hit him, but do you get what I'm saying? Like even this reverse back air here, oh, like this Luigi runs away, so I'm able to get the reverse back here. But Rap M, he
Yeah.
shields in this spot, right? And it's like, you just don't need to be doing this. You actually don't even have to. Because it's like, I'm just going to wait till you land. Let's take this situation now, right? Let's say the Luigi's just camping you with fireballs miserably. He stops approaching entirely. So your whole like wall him out strategy with distance stops working, right? What do you think happens if you just start walking forward after like you hit a fireball, right? Because it's not like fireball is something like a chic needle at a distance, right? Where it's like if you try and punish her for throwing at the fireball has a ton of lag. Like you can literally see the frame data on it here. It's like a full second of lag. Like it's like a stupid amount. I'm just trying to find where specials are here.
Yeah.
The fireball animation, it takes 46
Yeah, fireball's I think one of the worst projectiles.
right? Like it's not that good. Like it's covers like weird things, but like look how much he's just doing this like point finger thing, right? And then just like goes back to doing nothing, right? And it's like you can forward air the fireball, you can jab it, you can shield it and wave dash back, like whatever, right? But like if he just starts throwing fireballs, like all you have to do is get like a little close where he's like uncomfortable and you can't tell like are you gonna go in, are you gonna wave dash back, are you gonna wall, like he's just, it's like when you have people in the corner and they just kind of throw something out, you know. I always make the comparison of like a dog on a leash, like you know that like bad dog is like gonna try and bite you, you just don't know how he's gonna do it, if he's gonna jump at you, if he's gonna like wait till you get in close so he can like bite your hand reaching out, whatever. But you know that when you're close to him, like he's a dog, like he's just gonna try and bite you now, you know. And like I'm saying this as a dog person, like I love dogs, I'm just using it as an example, but like you know when
Yeah.
you have Luigi in the corner, like he's gonna do some bullshit, right? But it's like even just being close and being nearby makes them freak out crazy, right? Because they don't have any way to go in and hit you, they have to do something desperate, right? But when there's distance between the two of you and you have all the frame data in the world to actually like deal with it, like again, he has like 16 frames to get his fastest possible approach. You have 2 to get your shield up, you know? You have 8 times the amount of time he has to make that decision. It's just, the ball is just totally in your court. And I feel like doing these kind of like approaches that you're doing close to him, and jumping from far
Yeah.
distances, like you throw this like great far distance that you have even here, like in a bad spot, quote unquote, where you roll back. he can't hit you from here, right? So all you're doing is like jumping across this entire range. Like it's no different than here. You're just jumping here to try and hit him, and it's like that allows him to try and like play with you, right? Because otherwise, if you don't, like, he has to find a way in now, and he kind of can't. That's like Luigi's like problem. So again, playing the matchup, right?
The
Um,
crazy thing is, like, this was me really trying
mhm.
to tell myself not to approach. This is me being like, oh, you have to wall them out. You have to like do exactly sort of what you're trying to do. But
Yeah.
I have these habits pretty ingrained.
But like, dude, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you kind of had me my foot in my mouth for a minute there in the first stock, because I do think the first stock you played it like pretty well. Like, I was trying to like really, like, be quick with the example, but I was like, oh wait, no, he's actually doing quite well. The first stock, the second stock, you kind of threw it away a little, right? And now you're back to these bad habits. And I'm like, I'm sure you're thinking about it
Yeah,
too. And so this is the thing, right? Is like, okay, well, you know where you're doing it now. So now, or you know you're doing it. Now you can go back and watch these spots and be like, okay, well, why am I doing it, right? And so when I'm watching it, generally speaking, I would say it's like right after interaction ends. Something like this, right? Where like, someone wins something. I don't know. Like here, it's him grabbing you, right? Not neutral anymore. Now it's you're on your defense trying to get out of his combo, right? Oh, I got out of his combo. Okay, let's reset, reset, reset. And then you go right back in trying to scrap with him, right? So I feel like there is a part of you that still really wants to scrap. And I'm not saying don't scrap, because you do need to mix it up, like at the end of the day. And the other thing I'm learning, well, have learned, I should say, and I don't want to say like I'm still trying to accept it. Like I've definitely like been teaching people to play a certain way. I think we talked about this with Ness a little bit. Like, you can play the game the way you want. And what I mean by that is like the Zane video we were talking about, where like, if you do think like you're a reads based player and that's just the style that fits you, like that is okay. But you have to be like, the main thing that Zane talks about in the video that people just gloss over is like, you have to have all three, right? And so like the first stock, you absolutely had the June bug, play the matchup style down, and you were doing it well. The second stock, it feels like you're going a little bit more like a little bit more intuition on the scraps, and like you're just guessing wrong over and over and over. And like, it's not to say like, oh, it just gets better. It's like, okay, well, maybe we bring back a little bit of June bug when the reads stop working, when none stops working. Does that make sense?
yeah. I definitely need to integrate more of this,
Yeah, I think
more of
so.
this in intellectual style. It's hard for me to have because I think I have like an emotional reaction to like
No, that's real. Yeah.
people who don't go in to like scrap because I'm like, come on, this is fun. Like we're supposed to go in, we're
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
fight
yeah.
each other, you know? And
Well,
it's like really hard for me to like not do that.
no, and that is real, dude. And like the thing I'll say also is like, when it comes to this like play style thing we're talking about, right? Do you get what I mean? Like this Zane video, if I'm talking about like play styles, the different characters or
Yeah,
different players,
yeah, yeah,
sorry. Um, the thing that is hard about being good at all three, right, is like when you focus on one play style, you can't really focus on the other, right? Like it's kind of impossible to split your attention and have the same decision making for two different trains of thought. Do you know what I mean? It's the same way how like
yeah,
you can't focus on your percent at the same time you're trying to focus on your spacing, because you're looking at two different things, right? Does that make sense? Like, um,
yeah,
or like, I don't know, like in other words, like it changes how you look at the game completely. So if you have like an emotional trigger, which is like totally normal, that, you know, like in other words, like if you have a habit of, you know, having your decision making and focus change from an emotional trigger, you need to train that to have it trigger something else or recognize it and then
yeah.
make a decision, right? Which is like, I don't know if you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, but that's kind of what that book praises entirely. It talks about how to like build and break habits completely. Um, but what I'm getting at is like that's your that's like your hard truth is like, well, if that's the trigger for you and it isn't something like this scrap, then you need to work on that, which like, that could be hard if you're just spamming unranked over and over and you run into like a million different players who are practicing or punishing you for a million different things. Like something like that, I would probably practice in direct mode where you can play someone over and over and over, you know, and just kind of like grind it out. Does that make,
Yeah.
um, and I've been pushing people
Yeah.
quite
Yeah.
hard lately for like get off unranked, get off ranked, play direct mode. You know, melee online, message someone, do what you got to do, but direct mode is kind of the way for improving. But let's look at I think it was like a little earlier here, like this up throw you got hit by. Right, like for me, yeah, it was like right before this, yeah, right here. Um, this is what I feel like it is a lot of the time for your approaches. It's like the second you drop a combo or he drops a combo or whatever, you go right back in there trying to make it happen. And to be fair, so does he, because I think that's just kind of like the level of play you guys are at right now. No shot, like that's just like it's a very common thing. But you don't have that
Hmm.
like tell in you right now to like automatically play neutral, right? I think you have to train that for triggers basically, which is like, you know, for some people that trigger is like an animation in the game, like a scrap is over or I got out of up
Yeah.
throw up air or whatever. But some people it is just emotion, like you said. Like that is a real thing. Too many players will try and tell you to suppress your emotions, don't feel anything, just let them go one through the other. But so many good players, like you can't tell me you've never seen HBox, Cody, Zane, Moki, Aklo, like any of them be like super pissed, super sad, super pumped when they're playing. Like they feed into it, you know? Um, but they also do stuff with it, which I think is like the important like difference there, right? It's the distinction from like some like O2 rager who's just like he thinks he's really aggressive now that he's mad and then he just gets shield grabbed in the corner, you know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that is like important. Okay, we're running close on time. I'm not gonna go super in depth on this VOD because I don't think like it's bigger picture stuff here, right? It's not
Uh,
the nitty gritty. Sorry, you were gonna say something?
yeah. Oh, I just wanted you to look later on in this video. I try to edge guard him. I think on his second and his last stop.
Yeah, well that's
Well,
perfect. That's
or
what I was gonna
on
talk
the next
about.
stop and the next to last stop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because edge guarding was the thing I wanted to talk about. So that works out. So while we wait for it to get there, uh, let's talk about edge guarding in general, right? What is like the formula for edge guarding? Because it's like, when I say formula, kind of nerdy like, but it's true. Like you kind of flowchart edge guards, right? It's not like something. Edge guarding is more like, well, if they do X, do Y. If they do Y, do Z.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If they pick rock, do paper, whatever, right? So, in other words, like edge guarding is kind of like your response to how they like to get back, and how they get back is they use their resources to get back. So let's talk about Luigi's resources real quick. Luigi, to recover, he has his double jump, which we've already talked about why that move sucks because it doesn't really go very far, right? He has his up B, which is actually the extreme version of that. I'm gonna open Uncle Punch real quick, and again I'll go back to the VOD. I don't. Most people don't actually know this. Like they maybe like recognize it, but they don't actually like think about it when they're trying to edge guard him. Luigi's up B is not like how it is in every other Smash game. Like literally every other Smash game. Melee's the only one that does this. Watch my controller here. I'm gonna hold full right on my up B. Okay. I go nowhere. This is full drift.
Yeah. Nothing happens.
And
Yeah.
this is like, it only goes. I only get this drift when I'm falling with the up B too, because I'm in free fall, which is like the same thing as if I was like air dodging, right? Now I can control this, right? But the up B itself, when rising, it literally only goes straight up. So in other words, like if I'm Luigi, I can't recover right here if I have to up B. I can't make it. Do you know what I mean? So, okay, his double jump is really bad left to right. His up B
Yeah.
is even worse. What else does that leave him with? He's got his down B, which like if I try and like my mashing is terrible, but like, you know, I can go like half a platform basically as long as the spin is actually happening, you know? But it's still like I don't really go very far left and right. So I only have
Yeah.
side B, right? That's my only move. What if I get hit off stage like a crazy amount? Um, you know, like I only have this move to make it back, and that's it, right? So unlike someone like Fox, where I kind of have to think about like what are they gonna do? Instant side B? Are they gonna shine stall? Whatever. Like based on where Luigi is relative to the ledge, like if he's like above it or below it, I kind of know exactly what he's gonna do. Do you know what I mean? Because if he's below the ledge, he has to try
Yeah,
and find a way vertically back up. You know, and if he's above the ledge, if he's like right above it, you juggle him. But if he's like above it and out to like to the left or to the right kind of thing, you know he has to do something like a side B, right? So it doesn't really like in other words, like you kind of only have to look for a couple things against Luigi at a given point, right? Does that make sense? So let's talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
how to edge guard him a little bit. So the up B, like we said, he can't use it above the ledge. He can literally only use it below. He can't use it to the side of the ledge. He can only use it below, right? So let's talk about him below the ledge first because that's important. If you know he has to up B, you can either just hold the ledge, and a little trick actually is that you should write this one down later in the VOD. Um, you know how sometimes he hits you with the coin and you're on the edge and you maybe get like an air dodge? Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah.
Well, and you get
Mm-hmm.
you get the air dodge because you're rolling, right? And he hits you with the coin, you press R, and then you air dodge off stage to your death and whatever. But most people don't know actually. You can actually use light shield, like just like slightly pressing the trigger to roll. If you do that and you get hit by the coin, you never SD. So in other words, like it's safe to hold the ledge against Luigi, right? Because like if you do a soft press light shield when you're in the air, nothing happens. So you just fall, right? So it's safe to
Yeah.
try and roll against him on the
Okay.
ledge. So you can either grab the ledge or you can down tilt him. Down tilt probably the best one. It reaches like the furthest outwards or like most downwards, I guess. For Marth's moves, like it's also like less laggy than something like F smash, right? So you can either F smash him or you can either down tilt him or you can grab the ledge. If you grab the ledge against him and he just shoots straight up, shoots back down, you know he killed him. If you down tilt him, you know he's gonna either try and do a side B right away. But again, we'll talk about how to cover side B now, right? Because if you down tilt him, right, like you hit him with down tilt, he gets sent out here. And again,
So yeah, you could.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say in one edge guard, I mistimed the roll up, so
Okay,
I just roll up slightly too early, and
okay,
then he has enough that he can then actually grab ledge.
okay,
But what I was trying to do for both of the edge guards was to do the edge guard where you grab ledge and then you do a back air from ledge to hit his side B.
okay. We'll see when it comes up. Um,
Yeah.
do you mind if I finish explaining how to edge guard real quick, and then just to see kind of what you could
Yeah, yeah,
do?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, like, let's say here, you hit him with a down tilt when he does his up B, right? Like he gets sent out like here, where my mouse is, right? You know, like he can't up B, he can't air dodge because you'll just F smash him or whatever. Like he has to do the side B and hope for like a misfire or something, right? So the other important thing to know about Luigi with his side B, it's not like how it is in Brawl and like the later games. He can't grab the ledge when he does. Like you know how he like gets stuck in the stage or whatever in the newer games. Like he doesn't do that in Melee. Like if you side B straight to the ledge, like he'll just like side B and then fall a little bit and then do the up B, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, like you don't even have to protect the ledge itself. Like do this like back air edge guard that you were just talking about. You don't even have to try and hit him out of the side B because you know he's gonna fall after it or land on stage, right? But like I don't know if you've ever actually looked at the frame data on side B. It's terrible. Like it's shocker. Like, but it's terrible. Because when he does it after he shoots, he has like let's see once he actually lands. Sorry, I know it's a little bit of a long move. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, I stopped clicking, but like whatever. Like a half a minute or half a second of lag, right? Like from frame 62 to 92, it is literally half a second,
Hmm.
right? In other words, an eternity in Melee. It's so much lag, in fact, that if you shield at the ledge here, you do like a light shield, let's say, light shield just to cover your entire body. You can hard shield, whatever. Um, if he goes on stage, you can just let go of shield and like forward smash him, down smash him, up B him, grab him, whatever you want based on the percent or what you feel like doing. Like you can like he can go through your shield, like go all the way into stage. You can just let go of shield and run over and hit him, right? It's that much lag. And if he goes to the ledge or right below it, well, you know he can't grab the ledge, so you can just let go of shield And then when he starts rising up with the up B, because you know he has to do it, you just poke him with down tilt and you either rinse, repeat, or you just kill him outright. Do you know what I mean? And that's like all you
Yeah.
need against the character. If you ever see him doing something like a down B that's close to ledge, you can go out and like back air him or down air him like high. Or like if he's like charging side B close enough and you're confident in it, like you can space it so that when he shoots off, like you can like down air it or hit him. Um, but like even those, like you kind of leave yourself open to like misfire goes a little higher than the regular side B and it's a lot faster. So you kind of leave yourself exposed in that way. You can still hit it, but like why even bother when you don't have to, Like you can kind of just stand at the ledge. And this is what I mean. Like someone like Zane or Cordoran right now, they're going to play the player. They're going to go out off stage for the hard read. And like, that's what Zane's doing right now. And it kind of sucks when like he can just stay at the ledge and kind of do nothing and it covers everything. Right. So like, we'll watch what happens when you're trying to edge guard him. I'll fast forward to edge guard specifically. So here, let's see what happens here. Okay. You hit him with an up B that he couldn't even make it back anyway, but kill him just cause it looks cool. Whatever. Let's see an edge guard. Okay, so he's shooting the side B, right? And like, why is he shooting the side B here? Because he can't double jump, right? He can't. So he shoots the side B. Instead of being stuck in leg here for the side B, which like this is actually raw. This is just funny that you hit him with this. This is cool. But instead of being in leg here, right, and missing that, if you shield this, if you just sit here and shield, he can't grab the ledge. He'll fall right down below it. And then, sure, he uses like his double jump here, and maybe he could try and forward air you, but you could also like dash back pivot F smash. You could like wave dash back F tilt. You could wave dash back down tilt. You could like just walk another direction out. You could run off forward air. Like, he is not a threat to you here. Does that make sense? Like, you have every option here to cover everything he does here. You actually hit the coolest one, in my opinion, which is just like calling him out hard. Because like if he doesn't do this double jump, how does he punish you here? He doesn't have the drift to do it, So this is just funny. But instead of trying to like call out the immediate one, right? Again, he just falls right below the ledge. And here you do the F smash. I would probably down tilt here. And the nice thing about this, right, is like when you see something like this side B, and he has to do this, he has to come back horizontally, right? Instead of down airing here and wasting all your time here, and now you have to like do the attack at the very ledge, what you could have done instead is like walk back a little bit and set up for like a sweet spot down tilt, or like a set up for like a tipper. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to try and like hit the down tilt where it's at its most awkward, like at the hilt. Do you know what I mean? Where he kind of can sweet spot around it a little bit. Like, you could walk back now because he can't grab the ledge, and if he lands on stage, he's in lag, whatever, and just set up for good spacing here, then poke him. Like, play this back in Uncle Punch a million times out of a million. He's gonna get hit by this down tilt. Do you know what I mean? So that's that, and like also like if you wanted,
Yeah.
he doesn't have a jump. He has to side B. If you want, you could even grab the ledge and do like an invincible downer because he has to come horizontally. It'd probably reach. Like, whatever. Like, the point I'm trying to make is you have so many options, but you have stuff that's like guaranteed. And I think that's what's like so brutal for Luigi. He never really has a way to make it back, like the same way he doesn't really have a way to make it back in neutral. You can play neutral how you want. You can play the nun play style and go for the reads. Like, and same thing with the edge guard. You can go for the reads, but like sometimes just play the matchup, dude. And like that's probably why you're missing that one. Let's do the same thing. He's all the way off stage. He has to use a side B, which now he's low, so he has to go low. Back out there now. He has to side B. There it is, like the misfire. But it's like, why even try and hit him here? To be honest with you, like, he has to do the double jump and the up B, so why not just like roll, right? Like do the light shield roll, which like if you didn't know about it, fair thing. But even here, right? He has to do the side B, get on stage and like do an invincible down air and cover that misfire, or like get on stage with a ledge dash, if you know, assuming you can time it, um, and then go punish him for this down smash, right? With this misfire. Sorry, punish him for the misfire. If you didn't have over 100%, you could have even just done neutral get up, reacted to this, ran over and just grabbed him or F smashed him or wave dashed or whatever, right? But that's the truth of it.
Hmm.
Like, here he died. Okay, so let's go back to more edge guarding.
And then I totally failed to kill him. This is the stock where I really failed to kill him.
Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so you have him off stage here. This is good. Okay, yeah, that was like just like, again, the nun stuff, right? Crazy read where you don't have to, and you know you don't have to, but whatever. Okay, this is good neutral. Good neutral. Good up throw. So now he's landing, and to be fair, like when you get an up throw, you should be trying to get underneath him, you know, because that's where he's at his weakest.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, we talked about it, so now you know. Okay, so put him off stage here.
And then I could have killed him, and then I decided not to.
Yeah, okay, that's tough. I would say generally, F smashing the up B is kind of tough. Like, not even because like this is like supposed to miss. This is just like late timing, whatever. But like just a little bit. But even still, like if you're like scared you're gonna miss it, like the down tilt's lag free. You know, like you throw the down tilt out, he can't hit you for it. So, but okay, it's still happening. Whatever. We're scrapping. Oh man. This is just all tech flub though. Okay, that's bad double jump. That's the panic double jump we talked about before, right? Just double jumping right back into them. This is no different than the double jump here.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that, and then that should be it. Yeah, that's just it. So really, yeah, you were like flubbing here, trying to edge guard him, but this is actually just what killed you was the double jump back in where you didn't have to, right? But
the recovery.
Yeah. But like the recovery is like you did what you this is the recovery, you know, like the double jump in. Like anything here you're trying to land, that's you trying to recover. Anything that's happening now is just as a result of that because you don't really have anything else, right? And that's what I mean. Like it's such a killer habit that everyone needs to learn to break. But like really, like this is just you flubbing, I think, for the most part. Other than this like crazy forwarder that you go for, which like again, playstyle thing. You could go for like a runoff fair here. You could down tilt him. Like, and the thing with like down tilting him here, which I think is like particularly strong, again, lag free, but like he would have gotten hit by it, right? So what's the counterplay for him if he like next time you try and do it, right? Like he would have to double jump above, which like, oh, now this works. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a read, but also the down tilt, like you don't risk anything for throwing it out. So I would throw the down tilt first anyway, versus like the hard read forward air. But sometimes like some people word this as like a level, like mix up 1, mix up 2, or level 1, level 2. Do you know what I mean? Where like, mix up 1 is going to be the down tilt because it just kind of works all the time. So the Luigi player double jumps over it, and that's his like counterplay to getting hit. But then this time now you do the forward air. A lot of people, the reason why they're bad at doing reads, and I'm not calling you bad here, I'm just saying in general, like why people struggle with reads all the time is a lot of the time they like inherently get it and see it ahead of time. So they go for level 2. And sometimes you just need to throw it a little bit more level 1 every now and then. Even though it seems kind of boring, like it's what's good, you know? Because like I totally could see like if you thought he was gonna double jump over here over anything that you did here, this forward air totally does work. But sometimes it just doesn't, and that's like that is the risk you take for going for a read, you know? But again, I don't try and push like this is my vision of Marth that I think you should always do this here, whatever. It's why I'm trying to explain the difference a little bit between like this is what the matchup is, this is what's good in the matchup, this is what can happen if you play the player, right? And so this is just you, that forward air is you playing the player a little bit, where like, you know, maybe you need a little bit more matchup, kind of like we talked about earlier, right? But that's really it. I mean, like the edge guarding, the actual like edge guarding struggles you had, I would say were on your second last stock more than like your last stock, you know? And it's because you just don't flowchart the resources that he has. So again, I kind of already gave you the like practical examples of like how to do it, like just speaking about it, but you got to practice it. Like shield the side B, hit him if he goes low with your moves. Use the roll on ledge, and that's all you need for Luigi. Everything else is just extra cheddar, you know, like extra stuff you can hit him with. That like if you get it, you probably kill him, which is awesome. But like you kill him anyway, you know, with the good stuff, quote unquote, with the matchup stuff. Um, and so I
Yeah,
hope that covers it for you. Like your two big things, right, were
yeah,
your juggling and your neutral positioning. We talked about edge guarding. And general mistakes, you know, I kind of just sprinkled that in with the three big things that you had here, you know. Um, and then obviously you saw like some little things like the double jump back in that cost you at the end, or just like tech flubs or whatever. But I would say general mistakes more so is just kind of like what we talked about, like for the triggers kind of thing, like your habits of like why are you going in now versus like why weren't you before kind of deal, you know. And like that's just like
yeah.
comes with experience, comes with being more comfortable playing people. But I feel like we covered everything. But if you have any questions, like let me know, because this is like I feel like we're doing well so far.
Yeah, no, we did good, more than good.
Okay, cool.
Very thorough.
Okay, cool. Um, so just in case, any last minute thoughts, questions about like maybe even like Rap and Zane, about Luigi, about what to practice, future things, anything at all?
Well, all right, maybe just as a closing note, you could tell me like
Sure, yeah.
one thing to practice this week.
So if I had to practice anything of the things we talked about,
Yeah,
I actually don't know. I think they're all equally like so important. Like I will say, unlike something like this Zane video, like you do actually have to be all good at these three concepts, like the juggling, the neutral, and the edge guarding against Luigi, for you to just be a killer in the
yeah,
matchup. But if you are good at them, and I think they're all like at least like juggling and edge guarding are relatively simple enough if you like if you know how to like set up recordings and Uncle Punch, like pretty easy to do, right?
uh-huh,
Um, but what I would say, my recommendation, honestly, if you want, it's up to you. I just did this the other day with someone, and they said it was helpful. Um, now that we have talked about the matchup and we have had a couple lessons together, um,
yeah,
what I push for a little bit, if you're like serious about learning like a specific matchup now, and again, now that we've like, this is kind of what I meant at like probably like way back when we first started talking. Like my plan for coaching is to try and work with you long term, right? And to see you improve
uh-huh,
over time. So now that we've like established a baseline of like where you are as a player, like I have an idea of like what you can and what you probably can't do in Melee, and you have an idea now of what I think you should and shouldn't do, but also like things that you know you struggle with and things that you know you can do better. Right now,
yeah,
if you want, and we could keep doing things the way we're doing them, but what I like to sprinkle in here and there is a session where you find someone to play, like, and ideally it's a matchup we've talked like, or I'll put a hard limit on it. It should be a matchup that we've talked about already, like Luigi, let's say. Like just go in Melee
yeah,
online, find someone that you know is around your skill level, and if you don't know players that play Luigi, use the matchmaking channels. Like they have all these different ones. Like try it out a little bit, and then you schedule a session on a day where you've messaged someone ahead of time, whether it be like a couple days or like an hour before or whatever, and you're like, hey, let's play for an hour, and then you and I, while you're playing this guy, are gonna jump in a call, and I live coach you about things that we've talked about, how to stop like doing bad habits in the
ah,
moment, things like that. Um, so kind of just
yeah,
like, you know, your buddy watching you in Discord kind of thing, but like we're taking it serious, you know. Um,
yeah,
because some people do just learn by playing, right? Which is real. So now that we've kind of, you know, established the baseline and, you know, gotten like I've gotten a better sense of like how you play, what you like to do, yada yada, and how you think a little bit.
hmm.
I think that would
But can
probably
you
be a
send
good
me
time.
like, are there websites or something for to find people to play with? Because I
Yeah.
don't know many, I don't know anyone who plays the Luigi, for example, personally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is actually a big deal. So, okay. You are not in
Yeah, I didn't
Melee
know about
Online.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is no problem. So Melee Online, I would say, and I'll
Uh-huh.
I'll preface this. This is a matchmaking server, and it is the biggest melee matchmaking server by far. It's like the one, you know, and there isn't really like
Yeah.
similar ones to it. It is just kind of like the one. Um, that being said, it is kind of toxic. I'll keep it a buck with you. Um,
Hmm.
but uh, it is perfect, and I don't think it has to be toxic. Like it is. I say perfect. It is perfect for finding games. Like I'm in here all the time. Um, this is like my main way of finding games in melee. I don't really use. I play unranked and ranked and stuff, but like I don't really like message someone I found their Slippy code and hope to God I can find them in like the Slippy Discord. I use melee online because like look how
Mm.
many people are in it, right? Like so many people are playing melee, and like how many people are like online in it right now, you know? But what's nice about this server is it has all these different matchmaking servers, so or matchmaking channels, so you can kind of play around a little bit and get a sense for like where you are in here. It's the same kind of idea as like ranks in Slippy, except low key it's a little bit more clout based, which is whack, but like whatever. Uh, but like what's nice about it is like let's say I'm like day one, right, and I'm like, oh shoot, I really want to practice against Luigi. I can literally just type at Luigi, and like okay, Luigi may not be the best example because there's like a billion guys with Luigi as their Discord name, but like there is a role for Luigi, right? If I like type it, right, like I'm gonna be annoying here. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna use a more practical example. Like if I type a Jigglypuff, I tag the Jigglypuff role, and then
Hmm.
every Jigglypuff player in the server gets tagged for games here, right? Huge deal. And you can like take off roles if you don't like if you don't want to get tagged for games. Like if someone tags all the Marth players, like you can turn that off. I leave it on because it's not many pings a day, but like, do you? But like, try it out. Like honestly, like this is the main way I get practice for melee. I'm not kidding either. Like I just type in like yo at this character games, uh, and then you know someone DMs you or they tag you or whatever. Um, but eventually, like you could say like let's say you schedule for like next week. I'm just as an example, right? Day of or like day before, you can just tag the server and be like, yo, anyone want to commit to play with me for an hour at this time? Someone will message you. And then what's great about it, again, unlike unranked, like unless you find like a really good player, like you can kind of just like play and play and play and play and keep trying to like beat the things against this guy, like beat your habits out of you. But also like it's I think it's great because you can message him after and be like, yo man, like hey, like you know, fun games, whatever. What did you think about this interaction? And they can like, you know, you can talk to each other, which I think is like infinitely more useful than like unranked, right? Which is just like a soulless, uh, you know, empty like void of, you know, laggy whatever. Um, and that's how
Yeah.
melee. That's how melee really is, right? Like back before Slippy, like I'm gonna sound like Gramps here, but like, you know, you would go to the local. There was a little bit of like a social connection that you had to have if you wanted to play and get better, right? Like, um, and you would just play people like that was just how it was. So I think that is like, and I still think that's like the best way to improve versus like, you know, just like I don't know, like soullessly grinding Uncle Punch every day and then trying to like practice it against like the quote unquote better bots on Slippy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Melee Online. So I would definitely check it out if you have questions about it.
Okay. Wow, I totally didn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah. I think probably more people should know about it, but like, you know, it's
Because that's
discovered.
exactly what I've been doing. I've been going on Uncle Punch and then playing random people online.
Yeah. But like I think for where you're at, like there is value in Uncle punching, but like, you know, I get it. I'm the same way. Like sometimes you just kind of want to play versus like labbing all day, you know? So it's like Melee Online's perfect for that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so check it out. Okay, I'm gonna stop the lesson here if that's okay.
Yep.
Um,